If pigmentation is an issue for you, then this is going to be the episode that you want to tune into. I just created a reel and there was only 30 seconds or so to discuss this topic, and it needs a lot longer than that. So I figured I'd quickly jump on and share a longer, more in depth recording with you guys and dive into a few of the products from the New Skin range that can potentially be beneficial if that's your top priority, if that's a top concern for you. But for those who are new, hi guys, my name is Kurt Provost and I am your guide to all things New Skin. And I will give a little disclaimer to saying that keep in mind that New Skin doesn't make any claims about treating, curing, mitigating any diseases or anything like that. So these are just my own personal thoughts and opinions from using the products myself, getting results, loving them, sharing them with others, and seeing the results that they get. So I like to explore the product range of New Skin, and as a result, I have a little bit of knowledge that I can share with you guys to help point you in the right direction, hopefully. So with that disclaimer out of the way, here's the video that I was reacting to in that reel. You can see that this young lady has gone through a very intense procedure. That was laser resurfacing, I believe, and as you can see, she can barely open her eyes. Her face is swelled up, and she looks kind of like a pepperoni pizza. It's looks painful. And as time goes on, you see that her skin has created a crust of sorts. It's brutal. It's peeling off. It's not pretty. It looks incredibly painful, but she seems totally fine with this. In fact, she's created an entire channel and brand around doing these treatments quite regularly. And as I said in that reel, maybe she looks good after this in a month's time once the healing has completed. Maybe she looks better than she did before that. Maybe some of the lines, some of perhaps she was doing for scarring, if she had acne scarring, or maybe some pigmentation. They're kind of the most common reasons why people will do an invasive procedure like this. Maybe she's got that fresh skin now and she feels much better than prior to it. But the big question mark is long term, how is she going to feel about her skin? What is her skin going to look like? What is the condition going to be? What's the sensitivity going to be in the next 5, 10, 20 years to come? I'm very skeptical that things will work out for her well if she continues on this pathway, and maybe she's already done enough damage. There's the risk of scarring, there's the risk of infection, which can lead to scarring and way worse things than that as well. And ironically, the risk of hyperpigmentation, or if you have, so hyperpigmentation is when your skin gets darker, or hypopigmentation when your skin will get lighter in spots and sections. So there'll be a lot of discoloration happening on the face. That's a few of the risks that are there, and they're big risks. They're risks that I don't believe are worth rolling the dice with. So that's just assuming that nothing goes wrong with the procedure, that the person that is doing it for you is very experienced, knows exactly what they're doing, they're not going to get too close or anything like that. So with that out of the way, that's one big concern about it. The next one is, yes, sure, the laser will burn off the outer layer of skin, it will heat up the dermis, and it will stimulate the production of new collagen. And then you get that new layer of collagen and you look fantastic. Well, there are more things to the structure of the skin than just collagen. So I've written a list of things that just came to mind. Let's run through a few of them. We've got, yes, of course, collagen, there's elastin, there's the intracellular matrix, there's fibroblasts, there's nerve ends, there's blood vessels, there is, of course, structural fat, there's hair follicles, there's lymph nodes, there's the microbiome, which is threaded throughout us. There's oil glands, of course, and there's a very interesting type of cell. There's many different cells in our skin, but one of them that's really vital in the immune response for our body is Langerhans. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Langerhans cells. So these are really interesting cells that will move between the different layers of the skin, the deeper layers and the external layers, and they will gobble up things that shouldn't be there, bring them down, and dispose of them through the lymphatic system. So they kind of just send it out of your body. So that's one part. It accounts for 25% of the immune response of your skin. Why am I talking about Langerhans cells? I'm sharing because they do not like heat. They do not like being burnt. They do not like being annihilated by a laser. And what has been shown to happen is that if they get upset and disrupted by invasive procedures for the skin too often, they just retract and they never come back to the surface of your skin. And that impairs the immune response of your skin. That makes you more susceptible to infections, number one, but it makes you also more sensitive in the future. And it means that your body is not functioning the way it should be as a result of the beauty regimes that you may be pursuing. So that's just one example where it's a massive question. Well, with Langerhans cells, it's not a question mark. It's known as a fact that they detest getting burnt. And I imagine there would be many other aspects of the skin that would also detest being burnt. So, what's the long term consequence of that? We don't really know. These are relatively new technologies that are being used on the skin and is being used a lot all over the place. And so, just this very morning, actually, I had a consultation with a new client who had shared their history of going through all sorts of different laser treatments to deal with pigmentation. And the irony, and it's a sad irony, is that many of those treatments, you could actually see that they're causing discomfort right now, and they're getting in the way of the products that could potentially assist with that pigmentation, because the skin is so sensitive now that when the active ingredients, which are important for dealing with pigmentation, are applied to the skin just it can't handle it because it's been abused so much for a long time through these very invasive procedures. So there's kind of two issues that are being dealt with there. The first one is the pigmentation, but that has to be put on the back burner. It becomes secondary to the first issue, which is the sensitivity of the skin. Anyhow, I think you get the idea. Let's move on to something much more positive and have a look at a few of the products from the New Skin range that could potentially benefit this issue. So, first off, you want to take a look at the two different approaches here. The first one is that you want to deal with the discoloration, right? Your focus is on the pigmentation. However, many people have just completely buggered up their skin and created a lot of sensitivity through the very invasive procedures that they've done to try and deal with that pigmentation. So as a result, their skin is they're still pigmented, but their skin is also irritated and sensitive and raw. And so some of the ingredients that are necessary for dealing with the pigmentation will be too intense for that sensitive skin to handle. So we need to deal with that first and help restore that natural skin barrier back to its normal state, its normal healthy state, so that it can handle the more intense ingredients that will have pack more of a punch in regards to the discoloration. So for that first thing, I would always err on the side of caution. I would lead with the LumiSpa dry cleanser if your skin is a bit more sensitive. I say dry and not the sensitive one because I find most people find that the dry is very creamy, very soothing, and very hydrating for that sensitive skin, and it has that kind of healing quality to it. Very few people react to that, and as a result, I generally start people off with that, and then you can change from there depending on how your skin progresses. Afterwards, you want to be using just a basic toner that's not going to be too intense if your skin is more on the sensitive side now. I would be staying away from the one that is actually best for discoloration, which is the Nutricentials Here You Glow Toner. Now, if your skin isn't sensitive, definitely go with that toner. It's fantastic. Now, it is using caviar lime extract, and that is a mild acid that you can actually use daily if you so choose. But again, everyone is different. So you want to keep in mind that just because I can use something daily because I'm a guy and I've got thicker skin and it works for me, doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be perfect for you. So always you want to have a one-on-one consultation with your sponsor who'll be able to guide you through this process. Now, if you don't have a sponsor, then yes, of course, you can reach out to me and I can be your sponsor. I can help guide you through this process and hold your hand on this journey. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram at Kurt Provost or at kurtnewskin@gmail.com to ask those questions. If you've got a sponsor, go to your sponsor. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you, okay? So moving forward from the cleansing and the toning, then you want to, oh, by the way, the toner that I would use if you have more sensitive skin would be from the Nutricentials line or True Face Priming Solution. That is a fantastic toner, very rich in amino acids that help rebuild the structure of your skin. And for many of you, that may be what your skin needs after some very invasive treatments. So we're moving on to the treatment or serum stage. So if you are in the I've got one device actually that flits between both. So it will both be beneficial from a healing perspective and a hydration perspective, but also for dealing with the discoloration. So that is what you see in the bottom corner here, H-Lock Boost. Actually, everything in that bottom corner is going to be beneficial on your journey. So if you take a look at the Age-Lock Boost, you can check out this video here on it, and these are my results. I absolutely love the Boost because it's really easy to use and it's very gentle as well. Your skin will absolutely love it and you can use it daily, and it's having a hydrating effect. It's plumping the skin. It is providing a great microcurrent treatment for your skin every single day, and the big one is it's helping to brighten your skin as well. So I noticed that the sunspot that I started off with a few years ago has really faded and faded until now you can't really see it all that much. It's in the background, it's kind of forgotten, and that's thanks to just using this every day. It's something that is really easy to get into the habit of doing. So if you didn't have this device, if this was a little bit out of your range right now and you're not looking to add another device to your skincare routine, well, you can stick with the fantastic and very economical range of serums from Nutricentials. There are a bunch of serums right there that will help on both the healing side and the treating side. So the first one for the healing would be the postbiotic ceramides. That is the Nutricentials. It's like a light blue kind of greeny pump, and there is also the hyaluronic acid one with B5. So I would go with the ceramides first because it's very healing for the skin, and for most people in that category over here, that's the top priority, right? On the treatment side, there is also the vitamin C pump, which is great for brightening the skin. It's also got vegan collagen in there for stimulating and promoting the production of collagen. And there is bakuchiol, the purple one. Now, this one is fantastic because it is acting like retinol, except it is much gentler than retinol. A lot of people will react to that because it's a very intense ingredient. This one is not the case, but it gets very similar results, and that makes it super powerful because more people can use it, more people can enjoy it, and they can use it for longer. So for pigmentation, discoloration, that's the one you want to be using regularly. I would start with the ceramides, and I'd go with the bakuchiol as well, and kind of move on from there depending on what your skin can handle. how much of a routine you want to have. So right there, you've got quite a few different things, and then I would just be using SPF day cream or one of the more hydrating creams like True Face Uplifting Cream or Age Lock Transforming Night. There is a range called the Triphasic range, which is a fantastic range for brightening the skin. Used to say whitening the skin, but that's gone out of fashion now. So we say brightening the skin, and that isn't a complete range that you could be using. I don't have a great deal of personal experience with it. That's why I just haven't recommended it right now. But technically, that should be the first point of call if that's the priority for you. I've kind of gathered together a few different things. Now, there are two other products, but they are rather intense with their ingredients. So I would say use these sparingly and pay attention to your skin as you use them to monitor and adjust accordingly. It's not something that you just use every single day religiously, whether your skin is burning off or not. So, the 180 face wash, that has 10% active vitamin C. It's a phenomenal product. Absolutely love that product. But because it has active free flowing vitamin C, which means it doesn't oxidize when it's exposed to oxygen like most vitamin C. So, most people's vitamin C, once you open it, it starts to weaken. And by the time you've been using it for, let's say, a couple of weeks, maybe a month, the results will be diminishing because the active ingredient just isn't packing the punch that it used to. It's probably dead, it's inert. Well, that's different with ours. It actually stays active, which is a patented product. I've done a bunch of videos on it. You can check one of them out here. And that is one that you can just wash your face with, or you could use it like a mask and leave it on for a couple of minutes, and it has a real brightening effect for the skin. Absolutely love that. A lot of people have found it great for discoloration. So that's one, but just tread carefully with it because it is strong. So not every skin type can handle that. And the other one are the AHA pills from the 180 system range as well. That the 180 range has some very strong active ingredients. So these are something that you'd use maybe once, twice a week, something like that. But assess it with your skin. See how it responds to it. It can be fantastic for rejuvenating and brightening the skin, but if it's too much for your skin, then it's going to be doing more harm than good. So, as always, you want to consult with your sponsor or with me personally, if you don't have one, to figure out the right routine that's going to fit best for your unique circumstances. Do not just apply a one size fits all because that's not possible. That's why distributors exist with Nu Skin, so we can provide that more tailored approach for individuals rather than everyone just guessing and grabbing something off the shelf and mixing and matching and hoping it works for them. You don't have to do that with this. You can have a much more tailored approach. So that is everything for today. I hope this was useful for you. If it was, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. It's a great free way of supporting the channel. If I could get my words right, I've been speaking for a little while now. And be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it and you'd like to see more videos like this. I create content regularly, and there is over 200 other videos that you can browse through and have your questions answered in there. If you're watching this going, those products sound amazing, I would love to work with a company that has a product like this. How do I become a supplier rather than just a consumer of the products? Because I know a bunch of people who would enjoy these products. So glad you asked, because I'm actively expanding business around the world and I'm looking for great people to partner with like yourself. So I would like to hear from you either on Facebook, Instagram at Kurt Provost, or at my email at kurtnewskin@gmail.com, and I'll continue the conversation with you there. Ciao, guys.